we are at Alton Towers.
Yes, it is opening weekend, and we are here to ride the Curse of Alton Manor.
I think it's Curse at Alton Manor. I keep doing that in my head. I'm like, is it of or at? I think it's at.
Yeah.
Yes.
To be honest, I'm quite looking forward to this because Duel was one of our favourite rides. One of the rides what we could do.
Yeah.
So we went on it quite a bit. So when it closed down, it sort of limited what we could get on. So it's good to be able to get in and get on another ride again, really.
No, and it's just nice that they've put money into it because it was a bit knackered, wasn't it, Duel? I'm really looking forward to it, and we're going to tell you if we fit, if I fit, if any accessibility issues, and just tell you what we think of the ride. So we've already walked halfway through Haunted Hollow, so that's why you're probably thinking you don't look like you're at a theme park. We are here.
Yes.
So we're going to make our way up the hill and get in the queue. I think earlier it's been hitting around 60 minutes, hasn't it? During the day, like after the morning. So we're a couple of hours into the day now. It's about 12 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll see how long we wait, and we'll let you know.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I was digging graves, and then my spade went through this box.
Oh, okay.
And I went, that's odd. We don't find hat boxes in graves. I think it belonged to Mrs. Alton. She really liked hats. Not like your hat, sir. No, she had fashion. Now, when I got the box out, I noticed it said something.
Yeah.
Can you see what it says?
R.I.P. Snowy.
R.I.P. Snowy. And I went, Snowy? Snowy? There's a cat called Snowy. And I think the little girl had her. Now, what did it say again?
R.I.P. Snowy.
Snowy! Yeah. I'm more of a dog person.
Yeah, me too.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
On the 31st of December, 1892, on the final chime of midnight, the manor appeared to be struck by a storm of supernatural proportions. All known occupants of the house perished. That is, aside from the owner's only child, Emily.
So here we are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Have you had a good time?
I have, yeah. So bonus. We managed to get on the road.
Yes, very. I'm so pleased. I was a bit nervous, but there was no need because it was the same carts as Duel. It's just been rethemed, so it's just a metal lap bar. And initially, I did breathe in a bit just in case, like, because sometimes they stop, like they have to go into a certain level. But this one, it kind of stops when you stop. So if you are plus size, as you'll see from our shots going in, there is no really restrictions like for a roller coaster where there's a certain inch limit. This is not that, so it was fine, wasn't it? And of course, you got on it, like you had no issues.
Yeah, I think that's good though, because they've kept the same. Obviously, they had the same carts, so if you could have done it before, you still can. It means that it's a bit more friendly, really, than drastically changing it, making it less like a family-friendly ride, really. Yeah,
exactly. And even before the retheme as well, Duel had amendments made so it was much more wheelchair accessible. So there's no stairs, even in the pre-show. It's all ramped, mind. So if you're not going in a disability access and you're going in the normal way, like, it is still hilly. But all I'd say to that is, hey, just take your time if you need to. Don't worry about it, because the queue's always moving anyway, so you're not really, like, you don't feel the pressure to try and keep up with everyone, because we never do we?
No.
We just take it at our own pace. And what's nice as well is we notice it's more on the ride access side, so you might not spot it in the main side, but is they've got now a sensory board, and it essentially is sort of yellow, orange and red to say if you've got heightened sensitivity to certain things, to be wary of it when going on the ride. And it's just, I'm just really glad. I worried over nothing, basically.
Yeah.
But I hope you find that helpful as well, and just don't be afraid to try these sort of rides. Just because you may not be able to get on roller coasters, there are rides out here for you to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good sign of a good theme park, is that everyone can still do something at least. Yeah.
So now, spoiler alert, we are going to talk about the ride and our favourite bits, because we have done it 3 times. So there's a lot we want to say. I guess we're not going to give away too much. But first of all, the theming as a whole, and the area has just had a good lick of paint. It's had the shops have been renamed. There's themed treats that you've seen as well, and love it. Like, that area really needed that, because it was a bit of even with Duel, it was a bit of a dead space, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's good though, because it shows they're putting a bit more effort into not only retheming the ride, but theming the area. Sort of just immerses you a bit more than.
And even starting in the queue line, there was fog, there was lighting, and the tombstones were for old rides. So we saw for Ripsaw, Air. I mean, Air is now Galactica, so it still exists, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, there was like Corkscrew, there was loads, so there's some really nice Easter eggs even in the queue line. And then the pre-show, if you've done Duel, is very similar, so it's still got the Doll's House, but it's just much newer. It's much more refined. It's had a lick of paint, and it gives the story of Emily, who's essentially been ignored by her parents. So it's the parents' fault, really, that she's turned bad.
Yeah.
And then as you go into the ride, you're experiencing that transition of when she goes bad. And there's just, even like as you first go in the ride, the walls are moving, and we're not very technical, are we, with theme park talk, but the technology that they've used and the effects are just so much better than Duel. And because Duel was getting a bit rough around the edges, it was a classic, but it was
it definitely did need this retheme.
The only downside, and a lot of people have probably said this if you've watched a few vlogs about it, is the fact that there's a lot of dark space at the minute. But I think that's because it wasn't quite ready, was it? So I think it is there is going to be something happening there, because there are elements when you just drive through darkness. But even yesterday we queued probably over 2 hours to first get on it when the park opened, but that first hour delay was because even though the park opened at 10, the ride didn't open till about 11:15. And whilst the atmosphere is fantastic, everyone was cheering, like it was great, don't expect to be queuing hours for it, because you won't be. Like, I think when we left today it was about 30 minutes, and yes, it was still getting to about 60 minutes, so it wasn't that bad in terms of queue. But the ride itself, again, going back to that, I love the Doll's House. So there's an element when you sort of go into Emily's dollhouse, so she shrinks you down. And Joel's a creepy man. And then, again, there's more Easter eggs for Duel. So they've got the old hearse that was outside of Duel. What else did you spot?
There was this big spider, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had the spider, and then again, this is the big spoiler. At the end of the ride, when they take your photo, is a giant Emily, and I think that was the part that I thought, okay, they have really put the effort in with this re-theme.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to going out again for sure.
Yeah.
And I think if you like spooky things and a bit of atmospheric, like look, it's an upmarket ghost house, isn't it? But I really enjoyed it. What about you?
No, I really enjoyed it too. I think my favourite part was the tunnel where it spins.
So they had that for Duel, but it never worked. So I think by going on this, you just hope they keep it up now, because again, like Duel was a bit knackered, and hopefully this stays on par with how it is now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's that they look after it, and not to say that they won't, but they keep the effects going, because it was really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it when the dark spaces are not as dark, maybe.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And
is your arm going dead?
Yeah.
Is it time to wrap up?
I think it is. But I think we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Okay,
Bye.
Like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff.